gonna say system normal, all this sort of stuff on here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cause a trouble. And this is typically what you're gonna have when you need to reset something or acknowledge something. On the enunciators, and I don't think the mic stations are separate. But from the enunciators, you can do the same thing you do in here. You can acknowledge it, and you can reset. Sweet time. Okay. Enunciators are gonna flash the same way. This is gonna do the same thing for supervisory as well. You said acknowledge. Now, if that situation is still there, you're not gonna be able to reset it. That reset is not gonna come back in until it's got an automatic reset, it's got resettable troubles. So you're not gonna have to do anything. Once that trouble goes out of, it's gonna reset itself. Now, the supervisories are gonna be different. You're gonna have to go in there and actually acknowledge them and reset them, because they're not going to reset on their own.
So what are you supervising?
Supervisors will be in tamper and flows, a tamper, typically a sprinkler that they turned off. And your cheat sheet is right here. So what would pop up on the screen, the first thing is gonna come up is MPS, manual pull station, smoke detector, water flow, and TS. This is a tamper switch. This is what typically is gonna come up as a supervisor. Here are your bypass codes. When you got anybody in your sprinkler, brown, some guy pulling off the smoke detector, you're gonna have to put in the code, which is 8 zeros. And then you can bypass the system.
So you can't bypass the system without calling security?
So the code is right here.
So,
You hit the menu button up here, and then you can get in your 8 zeros. But every time you bypass one of these things,
bypass and
you're gonna have to acknowledge.
test are two different things.
Right.
So the system can still test only doesn't call the fire department. If we're not in bypass and things are still being worked on, the alarm's still gonna set. So that's why there's been times in which there's been work going on when he was working on the steam boilers, and there was still alarms going off because the system was not in bypass. It was only in test, but it still alerted everything. So until that system is bypass, that's when you won't hear anything. Nothing will go off. You get what I'm saying?
Now, you can put this system in bypass and keep the rest of the system up and going. I would not recommend doing this, as far as not putting it in test. Always put this thing in test while they're working on it. Now, if you got something, it's like, okay, they're working on the sprinklers, and then you got some smoke detector that comes in, say for an elevator lobby or something, you don't have to call the fire department. If it's not something